What's up, everybody? I'm Brandon. You're watching ADHD Game Dev. Okay, as the cool kids say, I'm just going to send it. I've been wanting to talk to you about my ADHD backstory, history, origin story. I'm a superhero. I want to start way back when my dad had died when I was a kid. I was pretty young, but the things that I do remember about him is that he was a gadgeteer. He was always fiddling with something. He would like make his own barometers and stuff, and we had them all in the laundry room, and I thought that was really cool. I remember him getting this book from the library that showed how to make things, and he would make like a little mouse trap gun that shot little dowels out of it. And one thing I vaguely remember, but I remember more hearing about it than anything else, is that he had invented a weed eater before they existed with an oscillating desk fan motor and the blade from it on a long shaft. So anyway, cool, into everything kind of person. What's that sound like? I mean, like I said, I was just a kid, but he sounds like, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Also, other things I remember, my older brother was diagnosed with ADD, and back then at the time, this is going to be the 80s or whatnot, and if you had ADD, you're a problem in class, and what they're going to do is what they did to him, which is put him on Ritalin, and that just turns you into a zombie, basically, but it makes you manageable for the teacher, okay, so you're not disruptive and you're paying attention. So fast forward a few years, and our stepdad is in our life, and oh man, he was kind of a hard nose, and it was like, no, this is bull. Nobody has ADD. You just need to apply yourself. My brother's meds go in the trash. This is all like, I'm just a kid, okay? You're talking about stuff that's like vague, or I would still remember bits of it, and I don't put it together until years later, or like hearing people talk about it years later. I'm like, oh, now I get it. But here's me as a kid. Here's me as a kid just completely obsessed with stuff like playing Legos or being a goofball and doing voices and acting and doing all this random stuff. And I can't focus on homework, of course. I can't apply myself to math. That was a struggling point for me. But there was no way I was going to get diagnosed with anything except for being a daydreamer, and I needed to knock it off and apply myself and do better, or else I'd get punished for it, okay? All right. Anybody who's like a modern person or knows anything about psychology at all knows that, punishing somebody for a neurological difference is probably not going to be the most beneficial thing for them. So what happens is that I wind up growing up ridiculously repressed and not knowing much about who I am or what's going on or my family history or any of that. Because it had all changed so much when I was a kid. And it wasn't until I got to college when I started kind of wake up to myself and be like, oh, hi me, where have you been? That crazy, actor. And I got into theater and stuff and was like, I feel like I finally started breathing for the first time in the last decade or so. I was not going back, okay? I was not going back. So years pass, blah, 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 blah. And it gets to, I'm carrying on with my life, and there's a lot going on in family. And so my son winds up getting diagnosed with ADHD. And this is like just a couple years ago, okay? This is just a few years ago. And he says to me, Dad, it's hereditary. And I'm like, loading bar. I'm like, are you worried about your kids having ADHD? And he's like, no, you, sir, you. I'm like, what? No, the stuff I do is normal. This is normal. This is just me. And then I'm like, and then everybody in the family is looking at me like this. Seriously? I start looking into it and reading up on it and, videos or whatever else. I get through half a book. Hi, no surprise. And I'm like, oh my God, I have ADHD. And it explained a lot about me. And so that's when I really started kind of on this thing of like trying to understand myself a little bit more and feeling like having been separated and having been repressed and having been isolated and punished for not being able to do math or anything like that is like all this stuff, all this burden, all this clutter in my mind and heart and memory. So being able to say, wow, I actually understand myself a little bit more and there's more people like me was really empowering. So this idea of saying that I can have community and I can start to understand people, and when they write a book and I read it and it's like, oh, this is a manual on me. All this weird stuff you're doing, like, yeah, that's relatable. That's real relatable. And so that's why I started doing a little bit more videos when I'm doing on this channel, and I'm talking, video game design. I started talking more about, well, how do you do that as an ADHDer? And I was saying, you know what, I really am on a personal journey right now and trying to understand myself in that context a little bit more. So that's why I said I'm going to switch the name of my channel. I'm going to embrace this chunk of myself, and a real part of it is to try to open up and create a space of community for other people like you. That's where you come in. You're probably wondering if you made it this far in the video, right? But I wanted to have an opportunity for other people, like you who are watching, to say, like, yeah, I can relate to that, and that helps me in my life and what I'm doing. And yeah, getting to see comments from people about how things that I've said or things that I've experienced have really helped them has been very empowering and very impactful, and it means a lot to me. So I appreciate you being here. But if you are an ADHD, you probably can't pay attention or sit still any better than I can. So I better wrap it up. Question, comment, request from you. If you have enjoyed this video, maybe if you've enjoyed 2 of my videos, it'd be a great thing to subscribe. I wouldn't ask you to subscribe if it was just a one-off. And if you give the video a like, this channel is about video game development, indie game development, and being an ADHDer, and I switch topics back and forth or do both together a lot. So both of those topics will be what is a like in your channel and in your universe. So if that doesn't throw off your recommendations and you feel like that's who you are and something you care about, I hope that you will give this video a like and that you would subscribe and let me know if this is helpful to you. But anyway, please be awesome today. Bye.